Diabetes, cancer, heart disease. It's running rampant. It's all the way we, number one, eat. Because I walk the meat aisle and I look at the stuff that people are buying and I wonder why. For entertainment, I just read the bags, all the ingredients on them of stuff I've never even heard of, and we're putting this on our food and we're just eating it, no questions asked. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. Don't we question that anymore?
What's the difference if we buy the beef from you versus going to the grocery store?
Well, first of all, I can tell you exactly what the cows eat.
People have become so removed from where their food is coming from, they don't even know. And they've made it so that that junk food is the dirt cheapest. What do you think people are gonna buy when you're on a budget?
Aaron meat.
He came over to breed my dad's cow, actually.
Oh, okay.
Our vet, my dad wanted to breed one of our beef cows.
She walked out of the house, I said, who is that? And then I saw her work with cattle. That was the end of it.
Yes.
You're sold.
Yes.
I've put together over 600 videos on YouTube, and I truly believe this is one of the more important videos. Please watch this all the way through to the end. These are my neighbors and good friends. We met in church many years ago. Victoria and Aaron, and they're beef farmers, dairy farmers, chicken farmers. They live right down the road. We get a lot of our grass-fed beef from them. And I truly believe one of the most important things we can do is eat the proper human diet. And where do we get that from? It's not from the grocery store. And I'm so blessed and fortunate that I have these guys right next door to me. A lot of people tell me that, oh, good for you, I have to go to the grocery store. That's not true. If I lived an hour away or 2 hours away, I would drive to Aaron and Vicky's with a cooler and I would stock up. The prices are fair. The meat is 1,000,000 times better than what you can get in the grocery store, and you're supporting a local farm. This video, Aaron is a character. He's passionate. He's fired up. And he should be. They're doing an amazing thing over there. They are the hardest working people I know. Aaron works a full-time job besides running this farm. I was just over there for a couple hours filming this. I'm exhausted. Huge shout out to Emma for helping me film this. I have so much more footage. Please watch this. Please comment. If you're in the area or not, check out their farm store. It's an amazing operation they have. They're two of the greatest people ever. And we need to support our local farmers. It's so important.
So what are we doing now?
So we're gonna go walk up on the hill and we're gonna go get the cows home.
All right. And the stars are still out.
Cows get up early like we do.
So how long have you been farming here for?
I have farmed here my whole life. I was born here and I bought the farm from my parents 2010. And I am the second generation of my family to farm here, the sixth generation of my family to farm in Marquette County since we immigrated from Germany.
This is your morning routine?
This is how we start every day.
Every single day, 7 days a week, winter, rain, sunshine.
We don't pasture in the winter. They would be at home if this was winter, but anytime in the growing season, our cattle are always on grass. That's a choice that we have, and we enjoy letting the cows do the work of harvesting their own feed. It's less expense for us with maintaining more equipment and less fuel, but moreover, we see the health benefits and it makes them happy.
Why is it so much healthier this way?
Because they're in the natural element of their life, of the way God designed them to be, and they're eating grass. They're consuming a diet that they're always been designed for. So
what is your land basically? You have this side of the road. I drive, just so everyone watching, this is the road I drive down multiple times a day. And it seems like every day I'm driving, I see you guys out here working, moving the cows, or on the tractor. And it's crazy to me because this isn't your full-time gig, right?
this is, but I also work an off-farm full-time factory job as well, because it is hard to financially maintain a small family farm nowadays, and I am forced to work that off-farm job not only to recover from our fire and our the results of that, but also in a world of razor thin margins, especially in the 21st century ag world. We do what we have to try to maintain our finances, and we are constantly forced to work that hard a lot of the times. It's not what we want to do, and we're working toward that. That's why we started the store, because we want to work harder here at home, because that's where our passions are, and that's where God has always given me a calling for. But it's what we do for the time being, in the hope and prayer of someday cut it all and just farm and focus on our direct marketing.
Got it.
That's my dad.
Oh, okay.
He comes every morning and comes to the farm every day and helps us with chores, and then farms all day long. So
It's a multiple full-time job
always.
from multiple people and yourself.
Yes. So. Okay. Sounds good.
Is Dad going to be okay on camera?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just don't give him a microphone.
Okay. I only have two, so.
It's okay. So typically during the week, Monday through Friday, I am not here for this portion of chores.
Okay.
So normally it's his dad and I that do the chores in the morning.
Because they keep the home fires burning while I go work the 40-hour-a-week job. And then weekends and afternoons, I start at 3:45 in the morning at my factory job, and I'm done by 1:30. Most people think I'm crazy. I'm used to those kind of hours, because even when we were, before the fire, when we were milking cows full time, we milked cows at 3:30 in the morning and 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Wow.
So the hours don't bother me, other than I work constantly. And I stay there even though it's not the job I really enjoy, because the hours work with farming. Because I'm done by 1:30 in the afternoon, I can bale hay, I can plant corn, I can work with cattle and animals. I have my whole afternoon and early evening to farm. We are milking Holsteins and Jerseys. We specialize and are looking at A2 genetics, because we want, number one, the digestibility of our milk to be able to be for anyone to consume our milk, even people with lactose intolerant deficiencies. And we see A2 genetics as the future of the dairy industry as well. So
if the job isn't hard enough just to be organic, you got to have another full-time job maintaining and doing all that
record
stuff.
keeping.
Wow.
We have a record for everything.
So you're like a farmer, a record keeper, business runner. So multiple hats for sure.
Geneticist,
scientist,
agronomist,
environmentalist.
yeah, part-time veterinarian as well.
Veterinarian.
So right now, everyone needs to come home. They walk home to get a drink right now. It's not ideal, but our watering system is supposed to go in this fall. Okay. So together there is about 35 head here. We're milking 10 cows right now, and we are maintaining a beef herd of about 6 beef cows, and we have a multitude of steers and new calves here, all from this year. There's always cattle moving in and moving out because of beef. with new calves being born and steers going out for the store and private sales that we also do in beef. Our total acreage, we operate just under 400 acres of all cropland, including pasture. And we own 100 of that. The rest we rent or are on some kind of a cost where we are some kind of a barter system of some kind for the use of the land if it's not cash rent.
Okay.
Come on, ladies.
Let's start moving the cows and we'll start heading for home. So this is a mix of a number of species. And there's clover in here, red clover, meadow fescue, and we are always looking at newer varieties that will perform better in our somewhat drought-prone soils, which is another reason we like grazing, because maintaining this kind of a cover all the time is critical for soil health and for moisture to retain it.
Okay.
Which is why we want to keep a thick bed of grass like this all the time in our pastures. And that's why a lot of grazers, some grazers don't like alfalfa in their pastures. I like it because you have that difference of species. The more species you can bring, the diversity is your friend. Because when it stops raining, something has to keep feeding the cows. And alfalfa has a deep taproot, which will mine for water, and we'll still have some feed. It may not be as much as we'd like because the grass will go dormant, and when it gets dry and there isn't any water, but the alfalfa will still grow. And in our soil type, it works. There are a lot of things we do to try. I wish we could do more, but unfortunately, it still comes down to what you can afford.
Right.
And you can't always afford everything. Go back by my dad, because he's going to open the gates and we're going to bring everybody. They know the routine. It's just more or less giving them a little nudge. It's time to go. Otherwise, typically, sometimes if they are putting up a big fight, we won't even bring everybody home, meaning our beef, that they don't have to be milked. The milk cows come home every single morning and evening because they have to be milked twice a day. The beef cattle, if we don't fight them, if they're not wanting to come home and they are content to graze and they don't want to come home and get a drink of water, we don't fight them. We let them be. Otherwise, we bring everybody home. So until we have a permanent watering system, we offer the opportunity for them to come home. Our cows all have names.
Really?
We choose to give them names instead of ear tags because we have always named our cows, number one, because ear tags can rip out of their ear. Spots never change. So we take a picture of every calf when they're born, and that's how we identify them by name. This is Daisy, and I can tell you we name all of them. Even our,
Do you, like, what's the name?
that is B.
Do you know all their names just from memory now too?
I'm not as good on the beef because there's so many of them, but our dairy cows, yes, I know every name, and I can tell you every name as we work. And that's a management choice on our end. Our organic certifier thinks it's so neat because we don't have any ear tags, and we like the personality of they all have a personality. They all have their own attitude. And that's why we choose to give them their own name, because they're individual just like you and I are.
Right.
Come on, girls. Come on, girls.
Come on.
Did you grow up farming?
No, I did not. I was actually born in Illinois, And my parents moved to Wisconsin when I was about 6. And we lived in town till I was about
Come on, girls.
13. And my parents bought a small hobby farm because I was in 4-H. And I wanted to show horses, and my dad wanted to start raising his own animals. So when I met him, I honestly thought farming was you put seeds in the ground, you let it grow, and that's about it.
So it's been a big learning experience for you too.
Yes, it has been.
Wow.
Which I absolutely love.
Come on, girls.
I wouldn't change this
Let's go.
lifestyle for anything.
And how did you and Aaron meet?
He came over to breed my dad's cow, actually.
Oh, okay.
Our vet, my dad wanted to breed one of our beef cows.
She walked out of the house. I said, "Who is that?" And then I saw her work with cattle. That was the end of it.
You're sold.
Yes.
It's so cool because we met at church, and it doesn't seem like that long ago, but it's been, you have kids now and everything. So like,
It's
how long ago
been-
was that even? I'm trying to
Gonna
remember.
be 5 years.
We're going on 5 years.
Come here, Sadie. Oh.
Cows are a herd animal. As long as the lead cow is leading, they typically all will follow. And cows are creatures of routine. They want the same routine every day, the same time, the same thing. That's what they like. And when you alter the routine is when you actually see them act up, and they become more nervous, and they become much more
Here we go.
stressed out because they like the routine, that's one of the things I like about farming. It's the same thing every day with the chores, but it can be different every day because it's the same basic chores we're doing, but every day can go completely different because you never know what you're going to encounter. We always joke and say that we have plan A, but we alter to B, C, and D throughout the day.
What would you do? What would be the first thing you would do?
It all depends what you are wanting. Are you wanting your own vegetables, or do you want your own meat? I would use that land as much, you do as many things as possible to use it wisely and get the most production out of it. Meaning, I would probably do a diversity of things. You know, use some of it as a garden, but I would also have animals because you can maintain your garden through livestock. That's the reason we have livestock. Not only do we live by them, but their manure we call it brown gold because meat and milk are a byproduct of them. Their manure is what we want the most because that's how we can be productive in a soil that most people say is worthless. It is true. It is true. Modern farming practices are not always geared towards soil health. They are maintained towards production. And you have to have a balance of both.
Right.
And it's hard to maintain that. All right, so we're gonna start milking. This is Edith and Violet.
Edith and Violet.
Everybody thinks it's just crazy. As we said, cows are creatures of habit. We train our cows just like a dog or any other animal you train. They know right where to go.
Wow, they're walking right in there.
And they know exactly what stall to go in, too.
Yes.
Do not put it in the wrong stall or you'll have issues. Hello, kitties. Sometimes the cows back out. I don't want to get hit.
So I'm prepping this cow to milk. We clean off their teats, and what I'm doing is called fore stripping, meaning I'm taking 3 or 4 squirts off of each quarter because the worst quality milk is always in the bottom, right at the teat level. And that stimulates her pituitary gland in her brain that it's time to milk now. And she's going to release a hormone called oxytocin, which is going to stimulate her udder to release her milk so that we can milk her. You cannot take milk from a cow. She has to give it to us. You can put the milker on. If she doesn't let her milk down, it's just gonna squawk and just be on her teats, and it's going to actually do detrimental things. That's why we stimulate her, and she learns from a young heifer when she has her first calf that it's milking time. That noise is our vacuum pump down there. That's what's there. So it's basically kind of like a, not really, but for lack of a better example, it's like a big vacuum cleaner. It's just maintaining a vacuum, which is what is doing. It's not sucking like hard, but it's a gentle sucking motion, and that noise is the pulsator that side to side. So this side is milking, then it's resting, then it's milking, then it's resting. That's what that noise is. And you can see the milk coming into the glass, and then it's going to go through this hose into the pail. Oh. We used to, before the fire, we had a pipeline, which is where it would go into a bulk tank. Unfortunately, when you're after the fire and having a small herd, we're not shipping milk anymore. So we didn't see the need of putting our bulk tank back in. So right now we're just milking this way. It's simple, easy, and most of the time we're feeding it all. So that's why we keep doing it. Okay. We are feeding some grain. It is organic grain that we grow ourselves. Again, it's non-GMO because we have to do it that way for our organic status. Everybody asks us, are your cows grass-fed and is your beef grass-fed? Yes. And we do feed a small amount of grain, but it is always non-GMO. It is grain that we grow ourselves. Why do we feed a little bit of grain? We feed a small amount of grain. These cows are not getting more than a pound or two right now. All it is a little dish full that it's just to help them come in, and it's a way for us to also maintain their health to get their mineral in them. So we put our minerals and their vitamins that we are supplementing away from forage in their grain. Edith is almost done getting milked. You can see when her udder is shrinking down. When we started, it was much wider because all the milk is almost out of her udder. So we're going to check her to see where she's at. If her udder should be soft and pliable. See, like you can see how soft this is because the milk is all gone. It doesn't hurt her. It's just, see how there's no milk in it. So our cows learn that we want to touch them. So what I'm doing is I'm actually getting the last little milk out and I'm pinching the hose here so I can feel if there's milk coming out. And then whatever milk I feel with this other hand, I'm directing it out so that she's fully milked out. I'm a cow guy. I can't help it. Give me a pail.
Okay, have your drink. There you go.
All right. We're going to let Violet milk, and we're going to let Edith come back out, and we're going to get another cow. So watch yourselves. Come on, Edith. You're okay. Typically, we are feeding majority of calves with it.
Raw milk versus pasteurized milk. What are your thoughts on that?
I've drank raw milk every day of my life. As soon as my mother weaned me, that's what I was on. And it stunted my growth. Can't you see?
Right.
The one to ask is Victoria, my wife.
I was hoping you could tell me a little bit more. What are your thoughts on raw milk versus pasteurized milk?
Personally, raw milk is 100 times better. Me, when growing up, I couldn't really drink store-bought milk too much. My brother, sister, and I would always end up sneezing after eating or drinking anything with store-bought dairy. There's been so many studies showing how much better it is for you. I listen to lots of like podcasts and stuff with people talking how it's helped cure like eczema and stuff by just drinking unadulterated milk that has the natural vitamins in. Because all the store-bought milk has been heated really high. It kills all the good beneficial bacteria and enzymes. And then they go and add artificial vitamins, minerals, because all the gallons say like fortified with vitamin D. Well, your body really can't process that because it's not natural. It's from a synthetic source of sorts.
Right.
So and honestly, raw milk, when I drink it, it quenches my thirst. It makes me feel full. If I drink store-bought milk, I'll drink like a gallon, no problem, and still feel thirsty. So, I mean, I don't know. There's tons of benefits to raw milk.
It seems like it goes back to what we were talking about with the fields. You use the word again, natural. It seems like raw milk is more natural. It's just like whatever's more natural seems to just be the answer.
Well, that's the way God designed it to work.
Right. So your store, when did it open?
It's opened in April.
So this is your farm store.
Yes.
And what do you sell here?
We sell our organic grass-fed beef. We sell our all-natural pork. We have chicken, eggs, and then a little bit of produce.
And this is right on your farm, and we're located in Montello.
Yep.
And people can go on your website. I'll put all that on the screen so they can find you.
You can go online. We have an online store where you can order it. Right now we don't have it where we ship it or deliver, but you can order ahead so you don't have to like stay here if you're in a hurry. And I'll have it ready for you. You just tell me who you are and I can hand it to you.
All right, let's go in there. How has the store been going?
Pretty good.
So Wackel's Farm. Yeah, would you mind giving us a little tour, a little look around?
So in here, all these freezers are right now pork. Wow. We have lots of pork right this second. Not so much beef, but we have more beef coming back from the butcher any day now. But this is our beef freezer. We have roasts. We have stuff for making your own beef broth. That's really popular with people. So, and I found out organ meats are really popular with people, so we've been getting more organ meats.
Carnivores in particular, the bone broth is like Aaron was saying earlier, liquid gold.
I would agree. That stuff is amazing. Then we have like our ground beef, we have beef patties, a whole bunch of different items.
So what's the difference if we buy the beef from you versus going to the grocery store?
Well, first of all, I can tell you exactly what the cows eat. So you know that they're not getting anything weird, or you know that nothing's being added to the meat. At the store, you don't know.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't know.
And you're supporting local.
And to me, it tastes way better. We like our meat.
Yes. So you have a lot of beef. You're waiting for another order to come in on that.
Yes.
And then you've got a lot of pork.
Loads of pork. Here, I'll do this one.
Like everything, right? Ribs and...
We got spare ribs, we got hocks, which are great for making soup, by the way. I love the hocks. I never tried them until I married Aaron. We got hams, we got roasts, we got, I don't know, liver. We even have pork heart and tongue, if anybody's interested in that. A variety of different brats.
Bacon.
Yes, bacon. You can't live without bacon.
Right.
I'm sorry. I don't follow the carnivore diet. Nourishing traditions, that's it.
Okay.
I have a book on it and how to eat like how your ancestors ate, where they highlight organ meats and fats and everything. And if you are going to eat grains and vegetables, there's certain ways to prepare them so your body can more easily digest it and stuff. So like your normal bread at the store, it wouldn't really be the best for you. And I don't know.
That's really cool. You're pretty much almost carnivore then. It's the same kind of thing.
Carnivore with like...
Carnivore's a little more extreme though. But...
I'll take it again.
Oh, the sun's coming out a little bit.
I would say the reason why we should support local farmers is you're supporting people in your community. Without your community support and willingness to help buy the products from you, it's really hard to survive. Because, I don't know, having a farm and then selling your stuff to another person in the middle and then them selling it back, we don't see the income from that really as much. So, I mean, just coming together and helping each other survive is really important. And then you get to build good relationships with other people. I enjoy going to other people's farms and seeing what they have and learning more about their practices and everything. So it's a way of learning and getting wholesome food. I don't know. I think it's actually just better in general because then you're not trucking animals here, there, everywhere, or produce or whatever all throughout the United States. You're keeping it local. You eat what's around you. And once again, it's more natural. That's how people have always done it. They eat what's grown right where they're at, not having something that comes from all the way across the United States. And just with different things. Oh, Sassy. She's my social cat. But I don't know, just you lose the nutritional value too. The longer something sits, the less fresh it is, the less nutrients you get in it.
Come on, Louise. Come on. It's your turn.
What type of beef or cut of meat?
I like a porterhouse or a ribeye.
Cat.
That's Jack. He's a Jersey cross steer. But we also have our mainline beef breeds, which are Herefords, and we also are getting into Charolais. That's what the two white calves laying there, those are twin heifers from a Charolais that we are really starting to like to and would like to take bigger as well. Our beef are pretty self-sufficient. They are on pasture along with our dairy herd constantly. They get very little to no grain, very little. More in the winter time than now in the summer. In the summer, they're pretty low maintenance. And we let them have their calves and enjoy life.
Come on, Louise.
Come on, Louise.
Come on, Louise.
I don't like to go to the grocery store. Vicky, my wife would tell you I go to the grocery store for entertainment because I walk the meat aisle and I look at the stuff that people are buying and I wonder why. Buying local is not a new concept. I understand that people, it's a growing thing, and that for a while we didn't really talk about it a whole lot. Come on, go on. But it's kind of I like it because I can react and interact completely with you, my consumer, and I can cut out all the middlemen which is why I am struggling to make money as a farmer, and I can talk to you as a consumer and say, this is the price I need to have to cover my costs, to make a small profit so that I can sustain my own family and my business. And we can stand toe to toe, look each other in the eye, and if you don't like the price, you can go your way, I can go my way, and if not, we make a deal. What's better than that?
Right. And I can talk to you and I know where the meat's coming from and I actually see the like
Yes.
the seal,
And that is the thing that I as a farmer, my eyes are getting open more and more to what you, a consumer, that's what we have more and more people coming to us seeking a one-on-one relationship with a farmer. They want to know where their food comes from, how the animals are treated, what we do on an everyday basis, because people have become so removed from where their food is coming from, they don't even know. Kids in school think that food comes from a grocery store. They don't even know how does it get there? So that's why why it was one of the driving forces in starting our on-farm store, because we have so many people coming to us, and COVID was a big accelerator of that as well. People wanted to buy direct. They wanted to know where it's coming from. And we feel the Lord calling us more than ever before that we need to do this. We want to, again, maintain a small family farm. We want to manage animals, not people. And we want to produce a quality product that is wholesome, nutritionally dense, and is good for your family as well as ours. And I got a very good taste of that in my factory job. My factory job, I work in a chicken processing plant. They get chicken that has been cut up in individual cuts, and we take it and further process it. So bread it, marinate it, and put all these added things on it. And when the first few days I was working there, I still shake my head. For entertainment, I just read the bags, all the ingredients on them of stuff I've never even heard of. And we're putting this on our food and we're just eating it. No questions asked. Like there's nothing wrong with don't we question that anymore? No. So it is just crazy to me why people consume this kind of food. Because if you taste the real deal like we have here, you will never want to eat that stuff because it tastes better, it's better for you, and why wouldn't you want to eat something that benefits both you, your health, and it benefits me as a farmer because I can make a sale and maintain my family and get to do what I love to do. It's a win-win for everybody. Diabetes, cancer, heart disease, it's running rampant. It's all the way we, number one, eat, but I think it comes even back farther a step to us as farmers, how we produce food, how we are farming, how we are interacting with our soil and our animals. Chemical farming became commonplace after World War II, and it is commonplace now in conventional ag. We farmed conventionally, but we never focused a lot on chemical usage because we never liked to use chemicals all that much. Both my father and I never liked to handle chemicals all that much, but it was something we had to do to be able to produce crops. But when my nutritionist turned me on to getting organic, and he said, why wouldn't you do this? Because number one, you don't use many chemicals anyway. It's not that hard for you. And you get paid more. It's just duh.
Another win-win.
So yes, I think it's a whole circle of things. The thing that really gets that in my own mind is why, and I know government can be a good way to make excuses, but come on. We've, in this country, buying nutritionally dense, healthy food for yourself has become the most expensive way to eat. And they've made it so that that junk food is the dirt cheapest. What do you think people are gonna buy when you're on a budget?
Right.
You can't afford, if you're pinching pennies, you have to buy the junk because they've made it that way. And that's why we try to keep our prices as low as possible, but yet make a small profit because we want you, our consumer, to be, and your family to be healthy, happy, and enjoy the good things in life. The way I eat and the good Lord is how I keep going. And normally I survive on 4 to 5 hours of sleep because I have to keep going. It's not a choice I want to make, but it's what I have to do for the time being. Right. And I do it while I'm young, right. So I can handle it.
I hope you guys are enjoying this video. It's to be continued. I have so much extra footage. It's going to take me a while to edit. Thursday, 4 p.m. Central. Let's see the rest of the Wackles family farm with Aaron and Vicky. They showed us their pigs and their calves and their chickens and the rest of the operation. So stay tuned, subscribe, 4 p.m. Central. But before you do that, I want you to think about this. What is going to happen in this world when we don't have any more Aaron and Vicky's wanting to have a small local farm because people like us aren't supporting them? What's going to happen? I really fear that that's going to be an issue because Aaron and Vicky are working so hard, and is this next generation going to pick up and do that? I hope so. I certainly hope we can change the world and that happens, because if there are no more Aaron and Vicky's and local farms like this, the only alternative is big box, huge grocery stores that get their meat in mass. It's factory farmed in some huge warehouse where they have thousands of heads of cattle. And what's getting injected into that meat? How are they treating their animals? Are they caring for and being good stewards of their land and their animals like Aaron and Vicky are? I don't think so. It's so important that we not only support local farmers like the Wackles family farm, local farmers all across the country, but we elevate the importance of this. This is hugely important. Look around at the population. Everybody is sick. Diabetes is going through the roof. Heart disease is the #1 killer. People have arthritis and depression and anxiety and brain fog and sleep issues. It's all the food they're eating. We need to get back to the basics. Whether you want to believe it or not, you can do the research on your own. Since the start of time, people ate meat. Almost only meat. They didn't eat all this processed garbage and all these food dyes and all of this sugar and all of this inflammatory food. And we need to get closer and closer to that. And one of the best ways you can do is supporting your local farmer. If you got to drive 2 or 3 hours, I would drive 3 hours, no problem. I'd bring a big cooler and a bag of ice and I would stock up. Look around, do some research, come out, check out Wackles Family Farm. I wouldn't be putting them on my YouTube channel and shouting them out like this to potentially hundreds of thousands or millions of people if I didn't stand by what they're doing. They're good people doing a really good job with a great product, fair prices, and we need to support more farmers like this. So please support your local farmers and check back Thursday at 4 p.m. with the rest of the video.